Welcome back to Empowered Esquire TV. As you know, there was a bit of a delay. I did not want to begin the stream without the actual lawsuits that we are discussing today. We could have just discussed some articles, sure, but I really wanted us to look at the actual lawsuits. So now that I have that, we are poised to begin. All righty. So let me hop in the chat. Hello to Michelle Jordan. Hello to Karen J. Hello to Mertice Balam, OCOV fam. Hi, OCOV fam. Hello to Empress Kaya. Hello to Deneen Bay. And hello to Lexi. So as you can see from the title, today we are discussing Mr. Bill Cosby and Deshaun Watson. Hello to Teddy Woodson. So if you have been living under a rock, which is totally fine, and you're unaware, Bill Cosby has been sued yet again. This is a new lawsuit, and this lawsuit is a bit different from the others because hold on, gotta watch my words here, because this alleged victim is alleging that she was a minor at the time of the inappropriate contact between her and Bill Cosby. And that makes this lawsuit different from all of the others, okay? Because unlike what we talk about with R. Kelly, the other lawsuits do not allege that any of these victims were minors at the time. And then we will discuss Deshaun Watson. Oh my goodness, there are 50 million lawsuits against him now. I think somewhere in the 20s, about 23 or 24 lawsuits against him alleging inappropriate behavior when he receives massages. And now his former team, the Texans, they've been added as a defendant in the lawsuit because they were providing his masseuse services in some of the instances that these actions allegedly occurred. So we got a lot to discuss. We are going to just dive right into it. Not too much fuss and muss or intro, okay? Hello to T Bam. Hello to Nettie Boo. Hello to Mo Light and Love. And hello to Shay Queen. Now, I'm going to ask you all to hold me accountable tonight. When I have a lot to discuss, I tend to speak very quickly. So if I start to speak too quickly, right, just put it in the chat, say slow down, and I will slow down, right? Because that is something that I sometimes do when we have these double features and I'm thinking, I want to hurry up and get it out, okay? All right. So let's start with Bill Cosby. Let me bring up, is this it? No, that's not it. I thought I sent it to myself. One moment, everyone. I thought that I messaged myself. I better have. Let's see. Yes, I did. So where is it in my messages? That's so weird. Oh, is that it? Here it is. All right. No need to sound the alarm. I have found the suit. I was like, where is the lawsuit? Because I know I sent it to myself. You guys know I usually send myself little messages as reminders. Perfect. Okay. So we are going to hop right into looking at the actual lawsuit that was filed. Hold on. Is this the right suit? It is. Okay. So this lawsuit, though it was filed initially a while ago, it is actually just getting to trial because Cosby was released on his criminal conviction. So when you look at the actual suit papers, you will see a date that is quite in the distance in the past. But the reason that the case is now reaching trial, and the trial is actually set for next week, is because Bill Cosby was released from prison, right? So trial is now possible. Teddy Woodson, yes, the DL and Monique. So it ended up being a 2.5 hour live. And if you guys don't know, I don't really like to have super long lives up on the channel because I think it makes it hard for people to digest, right? So I took it down with the idea being that I am going to chop it up and then repost it. So it'll be back, Teddy. All right, let me share my screen. Perfect. I think we should still be able to read it for free. Right? Okay, perfect. All right, so we are here on the first page. Okay, let's go to the caption. So we see Judy Hughes, the William Henry Cosby, aka Bill Cosby. Okay. We see in the complaint she is alleging S battery, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and negligent infliction of emotional distress. Now, we will get into the differences between intentional and negligent, right? As we dive into the complaint some more. All right, so first, did they just talk about some facts? They talk about who Judy Hughes is, that she's an individual that resides in California, and who Bill Cosby is. Then they get into it. In or about 1974, when plaintiff was 15 years old, she and a female friend who was 16 years old were in Lacey Park in San Marino, Los Angeles County, when they noticed that a movie was being filmed in the park. They walked over to see what was going on, and they were approached by Cosby, who then invited them to sit in a director's chair and engaged in conversation with them. He then invited them to come to his tennis club and meet him there the following Saturday. Cosby asked the girls how old they were, during this conversation. Okay, one more time. Cosby asked the girls how old they were during this conversation. And they told him, they told him that they were 15 and 16. Plaintiff and her friend went to Cosby's tennis club in Los Angeles County the following Saturday and met him there. When they arrived, Cosby invited them to follow him to a house where he served them alcoholic beverages and they played games of billiards with plaintiff. Under the terms of Cosby's game, plaintiff was required to consume a beer every time Cosby won a game of billiards. So let's take a moment here. Good evening to Rockin' with the Truth. Good evening to China 215. So what is being alleged already thus far is that Cosby met this plaintiff and her friend, and they both told Cosby that they were minors, meaning they both said to him, hey, I'm only 15 or I'm only 16, right? And with that knowledge, Cosby then meets up with them a second time. And during this next meeting, he gives them alcoholic beverages. He plays a drinking game with them, allegedly, knowing that they are 15 and 16. Okay. Hello, Midnight Green. Let us continue. After the girls had been served multiple alcoholic beverages, Cosby told them that he had a surprise for them, and he invited them to follow him. He led them to another house in Los Angeles, which turned out to be the Playboy Mansion. He told plaintiff and her friend that if any of the Playboy bunnies asked their age, they should say they were 19. So now, if you've been following my channel, you know that we did an entire series on The Secrets of Playboy. The Secrets of Playboy was a documentary. I believe it was on A&E, if I remember correctly. And it chronicled the Playboy Mansion's involvement in many sinister things. And they had an episode where they covered Bill Cosby, and they discussed that Bill Cosby was kind of given carte blanche at the mansion, and he would often bring female guests whom observers would observe and think that these female guests were underage. So now we're hearing some substantiation for the things that were alleged during the Playboy Mansion documentary. Let's continue. Oh, and then let's not forget the allegation that Cosby told these girls to lie about their age if they were, if anyone asked them. Okay, let's not forget about that portion. While at the Playboy Mansion, plaintiff told Cosby that she needed to use the bathroom. Cosby directed her to a bathroom within a bedroom suite near the game room. When plaintiff emerged from the bathroom, she found Cosby sitting on the bed. He asked her to sit beside him. He then proceeded to blank. He then proceeded to sexually molest her by attempting to put his hand down her pants and then taking her hand in his hand and performing a Bex back on himself without her consent. Notice the language that is being used here. All right. By the way, if you're just joining us, we are reading the actual lawsuit that was filed by Judy Huth. She is different from the other Cosby lawsuits because she alleges that when Bill Cosby had inappropriate contact with her, she was a minor. Okay. All right. Now that we've kind of started to dive into this lawsuit, I'm going to take a moment and ask everyone, did you watch the Secrets of Playboy documentary? Give me a 1 in the chat if you watched the documentary. And of course, you can put a 2 if you did not watch the documentary. Okay, so T-Bam watched it. I watched it, as you guys know. Lexi watched it as well. Deneen Bay didn't get a chance. That's fine. I'm asking to kind of gauge who is connecting the dots here, because as I said, if you watch the Playboy documentary, you're connecting a lot of dots right now with a lot of the accusations that were being made in regards to Cosby and some other men who would come to the Playboy Mansion. Okay, then. So it looks like most of you didn't get the chance to see it, which if you ever decide to check out my coverage of it, we did some pretty good coverage of the most, well, not the most relevant, but the earlier parts of the documentary. All right. Okay, so I'm going to dive back into hold on. Hello to Livia. How are you, Livia? I think I said hi to Lexi, but just in case I didn't, hello, Lexi, and hello, Nettie Boo. All right, now I'm going back to the suit. This traumatic incident at such a tender age has caused psychological damage and mental anguish for plaintiff that has caused her significant problems throughout her life since the incident. As a direct and proximate result of the incident, she has suffered damages that are substantial and continuing. Now, if you are an OG on this channel, you know why this language is being used. All right, so I'm going to read paragraph 7 again, and I'm going to ask one of my OGs to tell us, why is this language being used? This traumatic incident at such a tender age has caused psychological damage and mental anguish for plaintiff that has caused her significant problems throughout her life since the incident. As a direct and proximate result of the incident, she has suffered damages that are substantial and continuing. Can any of my OGs enlighten us? Tell us why that language? Do 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 do. I swear I'm gonna get a soundboard, y'all. Believe in me. You know, I believe in y'all, so believe in me. I'm going to get a soundboard. I promise you. Do 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 do. I mean, I guess a newbie could answer as well, but I think that one of the OGs would know better. Come on, I know there's some OGs in the bushes. I'm going to read it one more time. This traumatic incident at such a tender age has caused psychological damage and mental anguish for plaintiff that has caused her significant problems throughout her life since the incident. As a direct and proximate result of the incident, she has suffered damages that are substantial and continuing. All right, so we got some answers. All right, so Deneen Bay says showing the damages and how extensive it was. Okay, yes. Teddy Woodson also says establishing damages. So, yes. Nettie Boo says because she was a minor. Not necessarily. That's not really. Deneen Bay and Teddy Woodson kind of got it. It is to show that she was damaged and that her damages were caused by what Cosby did to her. It's to make it abundantly clear that his actions created damages that she should be compensated for. Right? That's what it's for. And it establishes that she should get some big bucks too, right? Because we're talking about, let's look at that wording again, right? Substantial and continuing. Let me just kind of let you all know, in every profession, there are some words that are kind of like a dog whistle, right? And you just know what they are hinting at. When you read a lawsuit and they say that the damages to the victim or to the whomever is substantial and continuing, it's their way of saying, we want the big bucks because my client is going to suffer until the day they die. So their compensation should reflect that. All right, let's continue. The acts of the acts of Cosby described herein constituted childhood sexual abuse pursuant to California Code of Civil Procedure 340. The date that plaintiff discovered, or reasonably should have discovered, that her psychological injuries and illnesses were caused by the sexual abuse perpetuated by Cosby was within the 3 years prior to the filing of this complaint. Furthermore, the running of the applicable limitations periods were equitably told and waived due to the circumstances concerning the conduct described herein, and plaintiff's delayed discovery of the connection between her injuries and the sexual abuse perpetuated by Cosby. Now, I'm willing to bet that that paragraph sounds like gobbledygook, right? It sounds like a bunch of legalese. So let me tell you what that paragraph means. In that paragraph, plaintiff is essentially saying, okay, I know that usually my statute of limitations to file this suit would have told already, right? Because this happened allegedly in 1974. She's saying, however, because I was a minor at the time, and I did not discover that these things were affecting me until a few years ago, I fall within the California Code, which allows people to file lawsuits for something that happened to them when they were a minor. Okay, so California Code has an exception in statute of limitations. That exception is if some sort of sexual abuse happens to you and you are a minor and you then later on discover in your adulthood that you're suffering because of that abuse, then you can, within a certain amount of years of discovering that that incident is causing you damage, you can file your lawsuit. So that is why she specifically said, hey, I only within the past 3 years or so realized the psychological damage that I have from this event. And that is why she can file a lawsuit in the 2000s for something that happened in 1974. Allegedly. All right. Does anyone have any questions about that statute of limitations loophole / exception? All right. Give me a Y in the chat if you totally get it. You totally understand the statute of limitations exception here. Give me an N in the chat if you don't quite get it and you want more of a breakdown. Teddy Woodson said, isn't that like a blank check? What do you mean, Teddy? Give us some more details on that. All right, I see most of you saying yes. You get it, you get it, you get it. Okay. Hello to Nappy Yankee. How are you? Hello to Senior A. Jones. How are you? All right. And Take R. Kelly, Give Us Back Tupac said, yes, it makes sense. And so when you think about it from the psychological perspective, it does make sense. Okay. If something happens to someone and that person is a minor, they may not fully grasp the effect that that incident is having on them. Some people have horrendous things happen to them as children, and then they carry on into adulthood where they blocked out the incident. They don't think about the incident. They don't talk, but a lot of them haven't even told anyone about the incident. And then later on in their lives, maybe they have their own family. And as they're raising their own children, that's when it starts to hit them like, uh-oh, I'm damaged. I need to work through some things. So for those of you who aren't familiar with the psychology of abuse as a child, I use the word, yes, it can be many years before someone realizes the effect that that event is having on them. All right, Teddy Woodson says he thinks that it gives women the opportunity to allege this at that time. I mean, there could be some women who misuse it. That is true, but it is rooted in sound psychology. Hello to Karen J. All right. All righty. So we're going to keep on moving now. We're going to keep on. First cause of action. All right. So the first cause of action, meaning the first count of this suit, the first thing that Judy is alleging that Cosby did, which violated California law, is the Bectual battery. Okay. So here she says the Bectual molestation of plaintiff by Cosby constituted intentional, unlawful, and harmful contact by Cosby, which directly and proximately resulted in injuries to plaintiff. So we already covered that, right? We know that she's saying that to get her damages. We get that. The wrongful conduct of Cosby, as herein alleged, was malicious, oppressive, and fraudulent in nature. Cosby engaged in the above described wrongful conduct with the intent to cause injury to plaintiff and with a conscious disregard of the rights of plaintiff, subjecting plaintiff to cruel and unjust hardship with the intention of deceiving plaintiff and causing plaintiff injury, such as to constitute malice, fraud, and oppression. Cosby acted with an evil and fraudulent motive and with the intent to vex, injure, or annoy plaintiff, and with a conscious disregard of plaintiff's rights. Cosby's actions were reprehensible, despicable, and in blatant violation of law. Cosby furthermore acted with extreme indifference to plaintiff's rights. Plaintiff is therefore entitled, didn't I tell you this was about damages, to recover punitive and exemplary damages from Cosby. All right, I'm back in the chat. I see some convos going on here. Take R. Kelly says a lot of kids don't understand what happened to them exactly, or how it violated them until later. There you go. This is why they created the statute of limitations exception. Listening to Larry Nassar's victims' impact statements really broke it down. Wow. Hello to Yehosef. How are you? T-Bam says, some victims suppress the abuse. Exactly, which is why they created this statute of limitations exception. Because they realized that, as I said, many people who were victims as a minor, they will then go on and live their lives and not even realize the damage that has occurred until, as I said, they try to raise their own family or something like that way down into adulthood. And then they realize, oh, I'm experiencing some psychological trauma here. Take R. Kelly says, T-Bam, it's like that with many things. Oh, wow. Wow. It is. She says, I was on the phone with my fiance when the plane hit the tower, and I spent a lot of time up in New York City. It wasn't until a couple of years later that random things set me off. Wow. Wow. All righty. I'm going to get back into the suit. Oh, wait. There was something else I wanted to mention. So a lot of allegations made here have already been kind of backed up by the facts that we heard earlier. Okay. So when you hear things like, okay, Cosby had a conscious disregard for plaintiff's rights, right? When you hear things like he was acting maliciously, he was committing fraud, he was being oppressive, all of that flows from this allegation that he met a girl who he allegedly knew was 15, right? He then gave her alcohol, which is already oppressing her rights to her person because now she's going to be impaired. And then second, he gave her that alcohol allegedly, with the intention and with the plan and with the premeditated motive of then sexually abusing her. That is what this paragraph is saying in a fancier way, right? They're connecting the dots between the alleged facts and the law. All righty. Let's see what's okay. So, second cause of action. All right. So, now the second cause of action, AKA the second count, AKA the second violation of law that the plaintiff is alleging, is intentional infliction of emotional distress. Now, we talk about IIED very often here on this channel. If you're an OG on this channel, you should be so familiar with intentional infliction of emotional distress that you should just see it and hear it everywhere, right? You should hear something and immediately be like, oh, that's some IIED right there, right? Because we talk about it so much. So this should be a breeze for you. Here we go. The actions of Cosby in sexually molesting plaintiff constituted extreme and outrageous conduct. I almost said contact. With the intention of causing or with reckless disregard of the probability of causing emotional distress. Plaintiff suffered severe and extreme emotional distress, which was and is substantial and enduring. The proximate cause of the severe and extreme emotional distress was the outrageous conduct of Cosby. The behavior of said Cosby, interesting way to phrase that, was outrageous because he abused a relation or position of trust. Interesting. Which gave him power to damage plaintiff. And he knew that plaintiff was susceptible to injuries through mental distress because of her age and innocence. Oh, wow. Furthermore, Cosby acted intentionally and unreasonably with the recognition that his acts were likely to result in illness through mental distress. Moreover, Cosby's conduct was extreme and outrageous because he knew that plaintiff was peculiarly peculiarly susceptible to emotional distress. That's a tongue twister. That is a tongue twister. To emotional distress at the time due to the foregoing circumstances, which caused plaintiff to have physical and mental conditions and or peculiarities that made her so susceptible. So let's unpack that. Okay, there are a number of things happening here. So one of the things that are happening is that the plaintiff is saying, because Cosby knew her age, he had to have known that what he was doing to her was going to scar her deeply, because a 15-year-old is not supposed to be having a 37, 38-year-old get them drunk, allegedly, and then touch them, right? That's not supposed to happen. So the allegation is that he had to have known that his behavior was going to cause her extreme mental distress. Even further than that, they talk about his position of trust and power. And we've heard that before, right? Because of the Cosby Show, Bill Cosby had built this very respectable, trustworthy, everybody's dad image. And the insinuation is that a lot of young people just trusted Cosby because of that image. And then, of course, him being a big superstar always puts him in this weird kind of position of power over a younger person who's going to be starstruck, right? So they're building the narrative. As I like to say, they're painting the picture, right? They're painting the picture for you of a young woman who was so tremendously damaged by his behavior. And he knew she would be, because he knew that she viewed him as this superpower, this amazing super dad. And now he's giving her alk and touching her and making her touch him, allegedly. Okay. Karen J is not a fan of this story. Neither are we. But you know what? We'll see what happens in court. Okay. Oh, boy. The wrongful conduct of Cosby, as herein alleged, was malicious, oppressive, and fraudulent. I think we've been there. Let's move on to the third cause. The third cause of action is for negligent infliction of emotional distress. So notice we already had intentional, which is what? It's exactly how it sounds, by the way. It's when someone knows what they are doing to you. Okay. And with the catch all being, or they reasonably should have known. So it's either that person knows the emotional distress that they're causing the victim, or if they were a regular person, they would know. Okay. So negligent infliction. Let's see. Cosby had a legal duty to refrain from engaging in sexual contact with plaintiff when she was 15 years old, and a duty of care to ensure that he did not cause sexual, emotional. Oh, I'm choking. I'm not even drinking anything. Why am I choking? One moment, y'all. Yeah, sorry about that, everyone. I literally started choking on nothing. Not sure what happened there, but I took the opportunity to take a sip of my drink and have a plantain chip. Because that's totally going to help me with choking, right? Totally going to help me. Thank you, Nappy Yankee. Let's take a break here. Let's take a moment. We're on page 4 out of 12. Now that we're kind of getting into negligence, let me know in the chat, what do you all think is the difference between someone intending to do something and someone negligently doing something? Drop it in the chat. In the meantime, I'm going to continue. Where are we here? Oh, okay. Then it gets into the prayer for relief. Okay. All righty. So you all tell me, intentional versus negligent. What do you think the difference is? Okay. So Fab 540 is close. She says intentional means planned to me. Negligent means should have known better. So in this instance, intentional means intended to, right? So Fab 540 is right on that. I'm gonna call her Fab. Hey Fab. So Fab is right on that. Intentional means planned to, intended to, meant to, right? That's why initially in that portion, you see that she keeps saying, he meant to cause me distress. He knew, allegedly, that I was a young, a young girl. Now, negligent in this instance means as an adult who is with a minor, even if Bill Cosby did not intend to cause Judy Hughes any distress, he owed her a certain level of care because he's an adult and she's a minor. And so, what he was supposed to do was shield her and protect her from things that could have caused her sexual, emotional, or psychological harm. And by breaching, meaning by not fulfilling his responsibility as an adult to protect her from those things, he caused her emotional distress. So it's kind of what Fab is saying, but it's a step further, right? It's a bit more than you should have known better. And it's into you, although you may not have intended to cause harm, you did not hold up your end of the responsibility as an adult who has a minor in your presence. Okay, Teddy Woodson is kind of along that lines, kind of. Okay. Deneen Bay says one is deliberate, the other happens unknowingly. Okay. Yes, hello Fab. Hello everyone. All right. So let me have another plantain chip and then we'll continue. Well, let me be clear. I'm actually not having plantain chips. I'm having, or as my family would say, plantain, right? I'm having plantain strips, which are kettle cooked and seasoned with sea salt. Very good. Okay, let's get back into it. Prayer for relief. So, as for the first cause of action, she's asking for compensatory damages and punitive and exemplary damages. Okay, that's expected. Second cause of action, she's asking for compensatory damages, also punitive and exemplary damages. Okay. Third cause of action, she's asking for compensatory damages. Okay. So, as you can see, there was not an amount noted here, which, is fine. There are some suits which note an amount and some which don't. And you see here in the addendum that she did request a jury trial. This will be a jury trial, by the way. Okay, and I think we've covered everything relevant to us. Alrighty, so let's get back to talking. You and I having this combo. So, hey, Levon says, how are you? Let me do a content creator roundup. If you're a content creator and I forget you, please put a CC in the chat. Everyone, Levon says, has an awesome channel. You should check him out. He does a lot of inspirational, insightful, life advice, spiritual advice. Very, very good channel. You should check him out. Nappy Yankee. I'm looking for a Nappy Yankee comment so I can put him up there. Here we go. Nappy Yankee, as you all know, also has an awesome social commentary channel, right? He covers a lot of the same topics that we do. A lot of our topics are inspired by him, by the way. So you should check out his channel. Did I miss anyone? Yeah, Levon, I got you. Oh my goodness, y'all. The most requested moderator in the world. The most requested moderator in the Pan-Africans is here. If you get the reference, you get it. If you know, you know, right? Shout out to Doug. And Doug is sharing our Cash App link. He's so awesome and amazing. And yes, the Cash App is $Felicia P. So now let's start chit-chatting. I may have to come back for Deshaun. We may not cover Deshaun today. We'll see. But let's have a convo about Bill Cosby. Okay. So tell me, and I'm wondering if I should give you all a letter or just kind of let you just speak your mind, right? But tell me what you think about this newest Bill Cosby lawsuit. You know what? Let me do this. Copy the clipboard. I mean, it's my party. I can do what I want to. Everyone, there's an invite link in the chat. Please click the link and come backstage and tell us what you think about this suit. This, mind you, it's not super new in its filing, but it is up for trial. So it's new in that instance. Okay. So come on backstage and tell me what you think of this lawsuit. And Doug said, thank you. Yes, y'all, give it up. Give it up for the most requested moderator. The number one request moderator in the world. Teddy Woodson says, this is not criminal, so what's the purpose of the jury? Oh, okay. Interesting question. Okay, I thought juries determine guilty or not. So you can have a jury in a civil case, especially when you have a case like this where there are millions of dollars at stake. Yes, Teddy Woodson, you absolutely, as the plaintiff, would have the right to a jury. So juries are commonplace in civil cases. And I'm not sure if you followed any of these celebrity civil cases lately, but they've all been jury cases. I mean, Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, Cardi B and Tasha K, the R. Kelly trials, right? R. Kelly trials were criminal, my bad. But yes, let's go back to my original example. Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, Cardi B and Tasha K, right? All jury trials. So when you have a lot of money at stake, yeah. And when you have this type of allegation, that alleged victim does have the right to a jury. Deneen Bay says it's awful and believable. Okay, so we got someone saying that they believe it. Let me copy and paste because I'm not on my cell phone, so I can't pin something. So I'm copying and pasting the link yet again so that anybody who wants to come backstage and chit chat about this Cosby suit can do so. Oh no. Oh no. He's been so quiet. Mackie. Come here, baby. You want a treat? Where's your treats? Oh, I found a treat. Come here. Yeah, we're gonna make him quiet. Come here, Mackie. Come. No, over here, baby. Treats. All right, so Teddy Woodson has a question. He says, is the burden of proof the same? No. So in criminal court, the burden of proof is beyond a reasonable doubt. The burden of proof is lower in civil cases. It is not the same. Deneen Bay put little, yeah, Deneen Bay, I see you got a cute doggy in your avatar. So, the doggy life. Levon says, I thought the Cosby situation was done. So did we, but apparently not. And as I said, Judy Huth is unique in her allegations because she's the only person to come forward and say, I was allegedly a minor when this happened. Now, mind you, I mentioned the Secrets of Playboy documentary because in that documentary, you have employees, people who worked at Playboy who allege that Cosby bringing a minor was not a rare occurrence. They allege that they saw him bring girls who they believe to be as young as 11 years old. So if you watch that documentary, this isn't much of a surprise, but from the lawsuit perspective, this is the first lawsuit against him that alleges that the victim was a minor. Rocking with the Truth says, my dog can't see, but she hear a treat and come quickly. Listen, I'm telling you about these dogs. They could be blind, but they hear that word and they come running. Mac came right, stopped barking, came right on over for that treat. Uh-huh. He's now attacking that treat, by the way. All right, y'all. I'm giving y'all a moment. Levon says, put up a surprise face. Should I drop the link? I'm gonna drop the link one more time. Nappy Yankee has a question. He says, do you have any opinions on Cosby's white, openly feminist lawyer? Well, Bonjean. So, thank you for bringing this up, Nappy Yankee. So, for those of you who may not know, Bill Cosby has the same attorney as R. Kelly. Okay, her name is, what's her first name again? Jennifer. Her name is Jennifer Bonjean. And when I read her filings in the R. Kelly case, I always say that she works for her check. Okay, I want to make that clear. This woman is not a slouch. She writes ardently, she researches ardently, and she works for her check. Okay, she's not resting on her laurels. So I got to give her that. Now, whether or not I have any opinion on her per se, not really. I mean, I guess it's interesting, right, that Cosby and R. Kelly would choose the person they're choosing for their attorney. However, I really do think that it's strategic, right? Especially when you're talking about Bill Cosby's accuser, right? Bill Cosby's accuser is a woman who is around Bonjean's age, I believe, right? And she's also a Caucasian woman. And so you're looking at a jury trial. So it's possible that Bill Cosby is making a strategic decision in choosing Bonjean as his attorney to face a jury when he's being accused of assaulting a Caucasian woman. That may be a strategic choice. Rockin' with the Truth says, I think Bill paid for her to take RK's case. Well, you never know, but she's working for that check. Listen, in R. Kelly's case, she's working for that check. Every argument she could find in those motions, she's finding it, even ones that are a stretch, and that's her job. Teddy Woodson says she won't be the last to come forward. These women don't have to prove anything. They only need to tell a believable story that Bill can't disprove. I mean, in some ways that's correct, right? In some ways they can, and truthfully, because so many accusers have come forward at this point, the deck is stacked in a way. Let's leave it at that. All right, so it's looking like no one else has or no one wants to come backstage, is looking like. So if nobody's coming backstage, I think I'm gonna give Deshaun Watson his own live. We'll do a pop-up live because I also want, he has, like I said, over 20 something lawsuits, and I have two of them that I want us to read and go through and discuss. And so my thing is, I promised Diva Divine Light that I would be on her live at 8 o'clock. I do not want to make her, or I shouldn't say make, wrong word, take that back. I do not want to ask her to reschedule her stuff, push her stuff. You know what I mean? I made a commitment to her, and that's my girl. I'm going to fulfill my commitment, So I am going to get out of here and go ahead and head on over to her live. I'm going to be live with her at 8. All right, everyone. So I'm actually texting her right now. Hold on one second. Coming over in a sec. I just snorted like a real little nerd there. Coming over in a sec. Okay. So I will post to my community tab the link to Diva's live. I'm gonna head on over there and meet her over there. Yeah, shout out to the OCOV peeps that come out and support me, y'all. And Diva called me like, hey, my fam want me to check on you because they say you were supposed to be live at 6 and you're not live yet. So I love y'all for checking on me and looking out for me, and you all just would not even know how much it means to me. OCOV really is a family. Y'all are super sweet, and I so love you and appreciate you. Okay. All righty. So listen, I tried to give y'all the opportunity to come backstage, and apparently everybody's shy today. I am going to come back and discuss Deshaun. I'm going to change this title. We're going to do Deshaun as a pop-up live. I'm thinking that I'll do that Tuesday afternoon. And that should be perfect because that will give more time for a little bit more developments to occur, because right now they just had another accuser come forward, and the Texans just got added as a defendant, and it's a bunch of mess going on there. So I think if we give it a couple more days to kind of hash out, it'll be perfect. Okay. So yes, I will. Oh, can I do that now? I can edit it now. Look at that. Okay, so the title now reads Bill Cosby, new lawsuits, new allegations, save. Future? Wait, what does it mean in the future? Why won't it let me edit the title, y'all? It was letting me do it and now it won't. And it says in the future. I don't get it. All right, listen, I'm going to edit the title later. But you guys have a few more minutes if you have any thoughts, questions, or concerns. You got a few more minutes. I'll give you guys like maybe another minute or so, right? Da, da, da. Deshaun Watson, I think, is more than deserving of his own live because, boy, it's a lot. It's so much going on with that Deshaun Watson case. And we're going to have the larger discussion about the NFL and NFL players and whether or not the NFL might be shielding persons who are up to some not so great things. Thank you for the compliment, Tone Bella. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I did not want to begin the live until I had the actual lawsuits. Tim Norman, I could. I haven't covered him before, but I absolutely could. I'll put that in a little poll and see if you guys want to cover that. How long have we been live? Okay. I mean, I think I gave y'all some good time. I love y'all, but we do the best we can. Alrighty. So this has been another. Levon says he'll need 2 whole sessions. He sure will. He sure will. There are 2 lawsuits of his that Tim Norman will need 2 whole sessions, or Deshaun Watson. I'm not sure. Okay, so listen, this has been another installment of Empowered Esquire TV. I hope you've been empowered by the legal information shared today. You bring something unique to this world, to this channel. to my life, and I love you for that. All right. And Replay Gang Gang, let me know, what do you think about this lawsuit? And is it intriguing to you that this is the first lawsuit in which someone alleges that they were a minor when Bill Cosby assaulted them? What do you think about that? Are you disturbed? Are you surprised? Are you not surprised? What do you think is going to become of this suit? All right. I'll see you around.